Good evening to everyone and welcome to today's session. I'm so happy that you all took a test and this should be the way I always dreamed, that we take a test, then we take a discussion, so that you're not passively attending a class. Rather, you have actively applied all your energy, time, everything, and solve the questions. And discussion is just a cakewalk. Only those questions which require a little bit of explanation, we can be able to do that. So please inform all your classmates that the live class and discussion has started. Very good. So Suhani, Patak, Indraja, and many more who are all online. Good to see almost 17 of you. Now, doctor, can online students can punch whether the voice is loud and clear? Can online students can punch whether the voice is loud and clear for everybody? So every day evening, we are going to have a session 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. At least 60 questions we will solve. And in the next 40 hours, we are going to finish 2,000 MCQs in social and preventive medicine. Okay, so please tell all your friends to glue and tune to the YouTube channel of onlineMBBS.com. Now, doctor, monitoring of the blood pressure. Generally, reading SPM or PSM is the most boring experience in the world. But I'm going to make it interesting for you. Every day evening, Harsha, the quiz is already over, Viday. Now we are into the discussion. Okay. Now, so the monitoring of the blood pressure is secondary prevention because you are trying to do a treatment based upon the fluctuations of the BP. That's the reason early diagnosis and treatment comes under secondary prevention is what you need to remember. Similarly, helmets, contraception, vaccines, they're all primary, whereas pap smear is early diagnosis and treatment, which is secondary prevention. I will try to really run fast because all these questions you already solved like a quiz. That's the reason you are mentally well prepared. Some questions we will have discussion, but ultimately, end of the day, we will see to that we revise at least 60 to 100 questions every day. Okay. Now, the desk provided with the tabletop to prevent the neck problems. It is a specific protection that you are offering. Just like chemoprophylaxis is a kind of a specific protection. The patient is on psychotherapy. So obviously any therapy, any treatment is early diagnosis and treatment. That's the reason it is secondary prevention is what you should remember. Vaccination comes under primary prevention. Prevention of the emergence of the risk factors. Risk factors आने के पहले ही prevention. जैसे if you are saying, if you are teaching the children health education, right, about the effects of obesity, the need of a good physical exercise to the school children, even before the emergence of the risk factors, you are taking care. That is an example of primordial prevention is what you need to remember. The iodine salt supplementation, specifically you are orienting towards prevention of the goiter, comes under specific protection. So what are called as the health promotion strategies? Health प्रमोशन स्ट्रेटजीज। ये प्रिवेंटिव मेडिसिन में एक दिक्कत होता है, सब कुछ एक ही दिखता है और ऐसे लगता है कि हमको सब कुछ मालूम है। बट इफ यू ट्राई टू यूज इंग्लिश, common English that we know, we are gone, right? So you need to be doubly sure. So insecticidal spray, portable, safe water supply, lifestyle modification, they all come under the health promotion. Chemoprophylaxis is a specific protection. अच्छा बच्चों, specific protection के अंदर क्या आता है? Immunization, adding specific nutrients like vitamin A, chemoprophylaxis, protection of occupational hazards, avoidance of allergens. So they all come under specific protection is what you need to remember. Now what comes under tertiary prevention? Rehabilitation. So you should know two important definitions. Levels of prevention is one of the favorite topic of the examiner. Any NEET PG exam you go or FMG exam. So what is a waterborne disease? Giardiasis, amoebiasis, teniasis, they're all waterborne, right? Now, incipient stage, if you are halting the progress and prevent complications, then that is called as secondary prevention. So the whole idea behind making the diagnosis very good question by Kapil Pawar. Sir, corona का mask कौन सा level prevention होता है? Good question. Is it, I mean, you are talking about the corona prevention or sexually transmitted diseases prevention? So, Kapil Pawar, there is a lot of debate on mask. Really, will it help? Will it not? No one knows, right? So, but the point is, even before the emergence of risk factors, you are preventing it. Obviously, that comes under specific protection and also primordial prevention, right? So, good. Now, doctor, the following does not determine the specific protection. So, pap smear for early detection of carcinoma cervix in community is a early diagnosis and treatment, which is secondary prevention. There is wearing of the goggles by welders, wearing of seat belt by car drivers, vitamin A for the children prophylaxis, that all comes under specific protection. So what are all the things included under the primary prevention? Health education, immunization, nutritional supplementation. They all come under primary prevention. So what comes under health promotion? Health education, food fortification, environmental modification, पर्यावरण की संरक्षण, they all come under health promotion is what you have to remember. The primary prevention out of all this, which comes under primary prevention. So you should basically remember that immunization comes under primary prevention. Now, which is a primary prevention in polio? If you are giving 3 doses of the OPV in a very early infancy, it comes under primary prevention in polio is what you need to remember. When you immunize a child for measles, what type of protection it is? It is an example of specific protection. Now, out of all this, which is early in sequence, first it is the disease that lead to impairment, that lead to disability, that lead to rehabilitation, the sequence that you need to remember. सो ये सब चीजें हम बहुत बार इसके पहले भी डिस्कशन करके ऑनलाइन MBBS.com वीडियो लाइब्रेरी में प्रस्तुत किया. सो दैट इज द रीजन मेरे प्यारे भारतवासियों, my job as a teacher is to inspire you, to drive you to go back to the online MBBS.com video library and do the revision. Okay, so that is the reason you play the quiz every day evening 6 p.m. with about 60 questions. Following that, you also attend the quick discussion, but that should give you inspiration to once more go back to the online MBBS video library, where you have more extensive discussion videos already are available for you from AIMS, All India, PGI, and all these question banks. Okay, so that is the reason to be laser focused. What examiner want? Do I know? Did I clear all those concepts which examiner is trying to test? That is the most important thing, right, Doc? So these are all the primary levels of prevention, except if you take health promotion, specific protection, immunization, they are all primary levels of prevention, except the early diagnosis and treatment, which comes under secondary prevention, is what you need to remember. Now, even before the emergence of the risk factors, what is the level of prevention? That's called primordial, is what you need to remember. Now, specific protection comes under primary prevention. Chemoprophylaxis also is a type of primary prevention. Chemoprophylaxis of malaria comes under primordial, even before you go all the way to the malaria infested area. If you are taking it, then that comes under primordial, because even before the emergence of these factors. Second thing is, you are living in an area of malaria and you happen to take the chemoprophylaxis, then that comes under primary. That's the point. Now, a lot of questions are asked about the ICD. So ICD-10 क्या होता है? International Classification of Diseases 10th revision होता है ICD-10. So ICD-10 के बारे में सब कुछ at least 7-8 points रहता है. That 7-8 points you have to make a note and remember. Okay, so once more, dear all, you guys are all so dear to my heart. So we are coming up with a beautiful concept called Train. Train is the name of the app. Within another 2 weeks, we are into the market. So Train app क्या करता है कि अगर आप we are not just specific for NEET PG, we are even for the NEET UG, IIT JEE and all exams, but it is like a TikTok. It is like a TikTok app. So the moment you download the app, you have a Gmail social login to activate, enter into. Then you can set up what kind of video feed I want to have in my mobile app. So that particular video feed will be a 3-minute videos on various concepts. Suppose you have chosen, I want NEET PG video feed to come. So a lot of teachers, we are now talking to almost all 1,000 teachers, excellent teachers in various specialty. लंबा भाषण मत देना, 3 मिनट का लेक्चर दे दो, क्विकली कॉन्सेप्ट को रिवाइज करो बोल के बोल रहे हैं. सो वो लोग अपलोड कर रहे हैं जैसे टिकटॉक में अपलोड होता है. आप भी कर सकते हैं. इवन यू कैन बी एबल टू, यू आर डूइंग रिविजन, चलो एक कैमरा पकड़ो, 3 मिनट में कॉन्सेप्ट को रिविजन करो, ट्रेन ऐप में अपलोड करो. और बेस्ड अपॉन द नंबर ऑफ people who have viewed the video you applied, we also pay you. We also pay you. Even if you are a student, even if you are anybody can upload the useful content, and based upon the number of views, we pay to the content providers. Kitna maza aayega? You can follow a particular content producer, and the content producer, every time he puts up a new short video, it can be maximum 3 minutes. I got a feedback that 2 minutes is better than 3 minutes, but 3 minutes. 3 minutes में आपको पूरा एक टॉपिक के स्मॉल सब टॉपिक के ऊपर, कॉन्सेप्ट के ऊपर पूरा ज्ञान मिल जाएगा. So please wait and look forward. The moment the train app comes, I will update all of you, and we are going to revolutionize the way education is being imparted. Right, Doc? Now, ICD 10, what is true? It is arranged in 3 volumes. So ICD 10 has totally कितना चैप्टर होता है? भैया भगवत गीता में कितने चैप्टर्स होता है? रामायण में कितना चैप्टर्स होता है? ICD में कितना होता है? Oh my God, this is called PSM. Still, there is no other option. You have to mug up wherever mugging is must. 21 chapters. 21 को क्या बोलते हैं भाई हिंदी में? 21. हाँ, 21, 16, 17, 18. Not bad, eh? My Hindi is not bad. Just apologize my tute-fute Hindi, but 21 ICD 10. Vital ICD is reviewed once in every 10 years is what you need to remember. So once more, 21 के बारे में examiner आपको पीछे पड़ेगा. 10 का 30 बोलो आंसर क्या है, बोलो पीछे पड़ेगा. कल के नीट पीजी एफएमसी में 21 को भूलना नहीं. 21. Now doctor, international classification of the disease, what is untrue? It is revised every 10 years. True. It is the base for use in other health fields, and coding system in 10th revision is alphanumerical. So there are all the things about the ICD 10. You need to keep a 200-page notebook on some things which are so frequently asked by the examiner. Iceberg phenomena क्या होता है? What the cases you are seeing is only the tip of the iceberg. There is a lot of submerged, subclinical cases of corona. Corona is the best example of tip of the iceberg phenomena, is what you need to remember. Apparent and inapparent. Maximum power of destruction of the disease is basically measured by case fatality rate. Seasonal trend. So why nowadays a lot of rains are happening? Because of the rains, everybody is getting sneezing, common cold. सबको डर लग रहा है, मुझे कोरोना आ गया, डॉक्टर प्लीज हेल्प मी. व्हाट विल टेल? अरे भाई जब बारिश गिरे तो, सर्दी नहीं हुए तो हमारा नाक का मतलब ही नहीं है. सो इसलिए डोंट वरी, जरा नींबू का पानी पी लो बोल के हमारा प्राइम मिनिस्टर ही बोला. So that's what we keep telling to the people. A lot of people who are afraid. Oh my God, am I going to die on ventilator? No, you're not going to die. So vector, one influenza become another influenza and wears a different suit, a different coat, and comes back. Environmental factors, change in herd immunity, they're all the ones which determine the seasonal trend. Intra-species competition is the competition among the individuals of a population. NEET PG is an example of an intra-species competition. Now, with regard to the quarantine, absolute quarantine is the restriction during the incubation period. Exclusion of the children from the schools is an example of modified quarantine. quarantine should not be longer than the longest incubation period. So that is what you need to remember. Once more, these are all the questions past 15 years of AIMS, All India PGI, JIPMA, etc. और एक बार नीट पीजी आएगा फिर यही कॉन्सेप्ट्स के ऊपर होता है, right? So totally, doctor, there are 2000 MCQs in preventive medicine. हर एक शाम 6 बजे को चाय पे चर्चा with Dr. Murali Bharadwaz, Monday to Saturday. Okay, so then every Sunday we have a full-scale grant test, and full-scale grant test we will make it into 6 parts of 50 questions, 300 questions score. And in the afternoon, 2 p.m., we will have a quick discussion of this full-scale grant test also, right? So that way, throughout the day, we will be there with you to give you the company for the preparation. And don't forget, subscribe to onlinembbs.com video library, and today only, and you have lots and lots of video for revision. After this session is over, we will remove this video and archive it. And please call 9000-868-356, our helpline number, and also be part of our WhatsApp group, right? So that you keep getting a lot of updates. Healthcare in India, the road ahead done by the McKinsey company. What is the bed population ratio? It is 9:1,000. Single exposure, common vehicle outbreak. Just like if there is any one single prostitute in the red light area with syphilis in a given village, in the whole community, a group of people who are all exposed to her will get it. Similarly, if there is any well containing any pollutant, then all the people who are exposed, similarly food poisoning events, etc. Single exposure, common vehicle outbreak. It is typically explosive. Sudden rise of the cases will be there, is what you need to remember. Millennium Development Goals. So, eradicating extreme poverty, Indira Gandhi ji ka, Garibi Hatao, fostering global partnership for development, Manmohan Singh साहब का पूरा दुनिया के लीडर्स के साथ संबंध बांधव्य शुरू करो. Then reducing child mortality, like our present health consciousness government, right? So that way. So doctor, extreme poverty and hunger, roti, kapda, makan, universal primary education, that is going to medical college, promote gender equality and empower women. That's how men are getting less seats and girls are outperforming them in the academics. Reduce child mortality. If you don't study well, tomorrow join post-graduation, you are going to create more child mortality. That is the reason entrance. Improve maternal health. Gynox Lelo, MD May, and help a lot of pregnant women. And combat HIV, AIDS, malaria. Ensure environmental sustainability and develop a global partnership of development is the important MDG goals, which you should not forget. When was smallpox eradicated? 8th May 1980. Why do you do direct standardization? If you take country, let us say Pakistan versus India versus Japan. Japan में तो 85 बोले तो भी young, sizzling, highly hormonal. India में 30 itself is, oh my God. So age constitution of the people differ in different countries. In that case, if you want to compare between two countries, you need to do the direct standardization. Millennium Development Goals include Garibi Hatao, global partnership, sustainability of environment. Point source epidemic. All cases emerge within one incubation period exclusively. Bhopal gas tragedy is an example of point source epidemic, which is a MDG. Reduce under 5 mortality by 2/3 was the call in the MDG. MDG aims to reduce MMR by 3/4, 75%. Long-term fluctuation को कहते हैं secular trend. So continuous common source versus point and common source. So typically continuous common source duration is more than one incubation period. Beyond incubation period also the cases continue to happen. That is the nature of a common source, is what you need to remember. Cyclical trend, why do they happen? Because of the herd immunity, which is variable. The epidemic of hepatitis A, it is a propagated epidemic. So what are 5-6 points you are not going to forget about the propagated outbreak, doctor? Person to person. It lasts longer than the common source. Multiple waves will be there. Multiple waves will be there. And the classical epidemic curve for a propagated outbreak, it has progressively taller peaks and incubation period apart from each other. जैसे हम कोरोना है, कोरोना को क्या बोलते हैं? Oh, कोरोना, it is only beginning. There is still a great thing going to happen shortly. One more peak, one more peak, one more peak. That is the example of a propagated outbreak. Outbreak begins as a common source, just like China में कहीं शुरू हुआ, and it is followed by person-to-person spread. So tomorrow's NEET PG entrance में पूछेगा कोरोना कौन सा epidemic है? Propagated epidemic. Surveillance is all about the scrutiny of the factors. It is the sentinel surveillance where the missed cases are also picked up and added to the data. That will help to measure the true morbidity, is what you need to remember. The tip of the iceberg phenomena. Typically, PM में, protein energy malnutrition में, जो भी क्वाशियोर्कर marasmus आप देख रहे हैं, they are only the tip of iceberg. Lot of children with malnutrition are there in the community. So that is the tip of iceberg phenomenon. Quarantine is the isolation of a healthy guy for longest incubation period. Death certificate के part 1, part 2 होता है. Part 1 क्या करेगा? Immediate cause and the direct underlying cause, which started the whole trend of the events leading to death. For example, किसी को myocardial infarction हो गया acutely, that is the direct underlying cause. But ultimately, ventricular fibrillation led to cardiac arrest, which is the immediate cause. Or maybe the pulmonary edema led to the death. So that is what we should be sure while filling the death certificate. Limit for registration of the birth is typically, once more, 21 दिन की बात कर रहे हैं, right? So 21 chapters in ICD-10, 21 days to register the birth. Then death has to be registered. मर गए तो गवर्नमेंट को जाके बोलना, ये नंबर, उनका नंबर आ गया बोल के. So what is the duration of quarantine? Quarantine is the longest incubation period. You have carriers in hepatitis B, diphtheria, typhoid, once more, different types of carriers. Is the favorite MCQ in tomorrow's exam. So, mere pyare Bharatwasiyon, we are done, and thanks for participating. Every day 6 p.m. Please don't forget to give your time to Dr. Murali Bharadwaj and at least 60 questions revision करेंगे. पहला क्विज के फॉर्मेट में, बाद में मैं आके डिस्कस करूंगा, right? So within next around 25 days में we will try to finish 2000 MCQs in preventive medicine और दुनिया को बोलेंगे भाई मैं तैयार हूँ. Very good. Thank you Dhanalakshmi and Kapil Pawar and many more. And please keep waiting. Train app is going to come like a TikTok in education. Incus quiz app is going to release in another 1 week, so that every 2 hours you have a quiz to play. And we will identify what are the learning gaps and then direct you to which videos in the Train app are going to help you to do the revision. Alright? So, we'll all see you once more tomorrow. Thank you. Keep tuned and be part of our WhatsApp group. Thanks for joining.